I woke up not able to get out of my head that I have done a horrible job expressing my viewpoints on Houshou. I feel like the more I even talk about this, the worse I make it, but I feel like every time I've made a statement, the brakes have given out and it's just gotten away from me, and I hate it. So I just want to spell some things out here real quick. She is an incredible artist, and to whatever degree she approves of the lyrics or the music video direction, whatever, I'd assume she at least has some hand in it. She has incredible eyes for how to craft a story, and I think her vocal ability is absolutely impeccable. She can rap, she can do all sorts of stuff. She's really, really good, and that's what I feel like I've always said with every reaction that I've done. Okay. Now, is it going to make or break things for me with the fact that she does normally utilize her body as part of the expression? No. There's plenty of artists that do that I'm not torn away by that. Do I think it's necessary ever? No. I think there's plenty of ways you can do that without, being all sexy in front of the camera. But I think in some cases, and I've seen this with some art before, I think sometimes going that route actually makes the final product better. And I say this with some anime as well. Kill la Kill would not be the same without all the fan service that it had. I think it could still be just as good of a story because it still had great fights, it still had great dialogue, it still had an incredible animation style. I think it still could have been good. But I think there were some elements of the story, including the fan service, including the jiggle physics and the strategically placed camera shots, that I think took it to another level. Now, that's my view on things. I'm not going to be turned off by someone like Marine bouncing around in front of the camera. I don't care. I truly don't. And that's especially true because I think for her, she makes it work for her music and for her character and all of that. When I did think that some of her personal life could affect my viewpoints on her music, it's because there's lots of artists that it's like, okay, I can't really hear you talk about, Jesus, red jumpsuit apparatus, if you write a song about a girl shaking her ass. Like, I'm sorry, I feel like there's, some actual real life distinction here to be made. I can't listen to Kanye's music when you talk about whatever crazy stuff you're on about, even if, to some degree, I think the music sounds really good. And I say to some degree because I think his most recent stuff has just been garbage. So there's been that part of it too. Okay, well, the music's not even that good anyway. So, cool. That's just another reason I don't like you. I don't think there's ever any way, especially if someone has some controversy in their life, that I can actually just sit there and go, I don't care what they do. Their music's good. That's all that matters. I think that's kind of ridiculous. And here's the thing. I could be wrong on this because I don't know Marine's personal life. I have looked nothing into her personal life besides what she said very proudly that she's a shotokan. Here's the thing. As someone who's been on the internet for a while, I have seen so many disgusting, terrible people who have been just as proud to be like, yes, that's absolutely how I am, and this character that I made is actually this number of years old, but because it's a drawing, none of you should say anything. I'm sitting there like, I'm sorry, that's a little concerning to me. And I think I have every right to be a little concerned about that, especially when some people on the same side of the fence as her, I'm not saying she's that kind of person, because I don't know, but if you're on that exact same side of the fence where you are basically letting people know this is the thinnest veiled ploy that I'm using right here to justify my disgusting interests. I feel like when someone is that blunt about what they're doing, I choose to never use any words even associated to any single part of their mindset or their camp or what have you. So when Marine goes, yeah, I'm a Shotokan, I'm like, okay, I'm a little concerned. And then when she did that song with Gura and found her, on the in a pit somewhere on the beach, and she's like, I'm like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's your thought process? What are you wanting to do? Especially because, as much as Gura was obviously an adult, there's a lot of people out there that's like, oh, but she looks young. Yeah, that'll be great. I'm sorry. that I'm going to look at that and be a little bit like, okay, just give me a little bit of an indication that you're not a creepy weirdo right now, please. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, it's just a drawing, so it's fine. No, I'm not going to be that way. So that is the one distinction I make here. Other than that, however you want to, go for stuff, it's like, fine. I really don't care. Because on top of that, Maureen does make really, really good music. And if she didn't, then that would be a different discussion. But because she does, I want to be able to support that. And just like Demon Dice, not every single song she makes is going to be a hit for me. I don't care, though. Because I know that especially with her catalog, it is the most open letter to everyone about how she thinks and her thought processes on things. So I want to support that. I feel like that's relatively clear. Anyway, in terms of me trying to talk to Alicia X Death and other reaction channels who react to her for the first time, why did I even talk about it? Why did I say anything about, well, her shameless sexiness aside, which, okay, I guess I used shameless wrong. I thought it literally meant you have no shame. Not because it's a bad thing, but because you don't have shame. You're like, this is me. Okay, we're splitting hairs about words. Okay, fantastic. Fine. That's why I deleted the comment, because... But why did I even do that anyway? Is it because I'm trying to put women down? No. Look at Alicia. Her model is open. There's a lot of stuff going on. If I wanted to put down women for expressing themselves, I would have done it in a whole different way. I would have ignored the whole situation. I would have been like, I would have pigeonholed all of these individuals and been like, oh, you're all just this. But I'm going to someone like Alicia, who I respect, and I know how reaction videos work. I know how that climate works. I know when you get the, oh, this person reacts to this thing for the first time. You're going to get one of two people. You're going to get the people who are going to be able to ride it out and go, okay, what's the point here? And then there's going to be the ones that as soon as that first flashbang comes, they're going to go, and that's just, it's stupid and over the top, but that is how a lot of that stuff works. And a lot of those people are either going to be so puritanistic or whatever that they're not going to be able to actually look at the reality of the artist involved. They're going to see bouncing boobs on camera and go, So I thought I was doing my due diligence to say, hey, before you do your knee-jerk reaction to how she's bouncing around, try and think about the concept that she's actually doing something deep and of value. And some people argue that there shouldn't be any reason to distinguish that. But again, though, I'm sorry. In the world that I'm in the space that I'm in, there are so many people out there that cannot look past boobs. They can't. It's the same thing when I've tried to talk to people about rap. And they go, oh, well, they're just thugs. It's just thug music. I'm like, you're missing every single facet of what makes rap music. Oh, well, anime, it's just these young little girls bouncing around on screen. Okay, you're not paying attention to anything. Oh, well, metal music. Oh, well, they're just angry and they're just screaming all the time. Okay, I could run by some lyrics by you, but I feel like you don't actually care. I'm painfully aware that there are people who are going to get a first impression of an artist and never learn anything about them after that. And that concerns me. Because I feel like that not only flies in the face of how a lot of us in today's day and world just don't care to be curious about anything anymore. We just find whether or not something fits our niche, and then we embrace it, or we throw it away if we don't like it. Instead of actually taking time to be like, okay, what is this artist about? And when people tried to argue, well, her success means that that's all you need to care about. Listen, buddy. There's songs by Tekashi 6ix9ine that had hundreds of millions of views, or at least tens of millions of views on YouTube. Am I going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, because the opening shot was some big bootied chick with sprinkles on her ass walking? You think that that's going to make me think that his music's the best thing ever? No. So I don't understand that argument. But like I'd said, her music's fantastic. I would hate for people to not think that she's an incredible artist because of the visuals that they might not like, or just be so shocked by. This is Hololive? Well, no, not everybody, but this is how she rolls. And she does it in a way that's just tasteful enough that management is sweating ever so slightly less every time she puts out a video. I just feel like in trying to help people understand that at all, I get caught up in like 8 to 10 different arguments where I'm realizing that I wasn't describing anything correctly. And that was frustrating to me. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. That's just my thoughts on that. Yeah. My year anniversary is coming up next weekend. Hope to see you there on the stream. Going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Going to be doing a lot of different things. I think it'll be a good time. Anyway,